Number 2 is asking us to compare the situation number 1 and situation number 2. Again, what similarities do we see and what differences do you notice? So I have written down some similarities and differences that I want you to compare with the ones that you have written down. So some things that have been brought up is that one similarity is that both start at the point 0, 5. Another one is that they both form a straight line, and if it forms a straight line, we are going to refer to that as a linear equation. Both have a common difference or a constant rate of change. So common difference and constant rate of change is the same thing. That constant rate of change and common difference we can also refer to as the slope. So they both have a common difference or constant rate of change. That slope that's going to stay the same. Both have an explicit equation, and both are increasing. So from left to right, both are going up. Some differences you should notice. Number 1, the points are not connected, and when they're not connected, we refer to that as discrete. And in number 2, the points are connected, which we say is continuous. And in the next task, we're going to dive in a little bit more into discrete versus continuous functions. The second difference is number 1 has a recursive equation and number 2 doesn't. And the reason that number 2 does not have a recursive equation is because number 2 is not a sequence. So because our points are just not connected in number 1, we can look at that as an arithmetic sequence, whereas in number 2, the points are connected. Once we start connecting them, they are no longer a sequence. And if they are no longer a sequence, they will not have a recursive equation. The third one, number 1 has a constant rate of change of 3, and number 2 has a constant rate of change of 2. So they have different slopes or constant rate of change. And lastly, they are using different variables.